important job of the district attorney's office and for all of law enforcement is to keep the community safe. My wife and I have been blessed to live in Nashville, Tennessee with its great quality of life in a culture where Nashville is a safe place to raise a family, a great place to grow a business. My job as district attorney is to make sure that we keep this community safe and we enhance that reputation. I bring a depth of experience, 29 years of experience, 29 years of qualifications to this job. This is the job I never thought would actually come open, because I thought Tory Johnson was going to run again, and if he'd have run again, I'd have been 61 years old, and that would have been probably too old for me to run as a first-time candidate. But this is a job that I've been prepared for. I was started in public defender's office, and I was a better district attorney because I'd been a public defender. I'm a better private lawyer because I was a district attorney. And I'm going to make a better district attorney for having been a private lawyer. When I'm elected, in partnership with every other institution in this county and with the people of this county, I intend to keep this county a safe place for families and for children.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Mr. McGuire, closing remarks.
On May 7th, I will be a domestic violence prosecutor. Now, I hope, and I'm working very diligently to be able to do that as your next district attorney. I know that everybody in here is committed to breaking the cycle of violence for women and to try to help children and to try to help those who are suffering in domestic violence relationships right now. And for that, I say it doesn't matter whose sticker you're wearing. It doesn't matter who you vote for, even though I'm obviously hoping that you vote for me. It matters that whatever is happening in this moment doesn't stay in this election cycle, which is why I'm telling you that on May 7th, I will be a domestic violence prosecutor. This is something that I'm committed to today, tomorrow, and have been for the last 12 years. That commitment is something that I carry with me out on the campaign trail. It's something that I will carry with me for the next 8 years if I get to be your district attorney. And I can use that commitment to lead and inspire 58 other assistant district attorneys and 670,000 people who live in our city to make sure that everyone knows it is not okay to hurt someone you say you love, that it is not okay to subject a child to seeing a home of domestic violence, that not only is it not okay, it is not just, it is not fair, and we won't stand for it. It's something I've done for over a decade. It's something I'll do for the next decade. I want your vote. I hope that I've earned it this afternoon. But whether you vote for me or not, go out and try to make the world a better place for the people who live here. And go out and try to help someone who is suffering in a domestic violence relationship so that they know that there are people who care about them that can break that cycle. And if you do that, then it won't matter what sticker anybody's wearing, because we'll have a stronger and safer city. That's why I'm running for district attorney. Not to win an election, but to try to make sure that we have a better city where everyone feels like they get justice and everyone is safe from harm. Thank you very much for listening. It was my pleasure and honor to be here today.
Ms. Lance.
Thanks. So at this point, you've just got to figure out what your thoughts are around this issue and what type of DA you want. And I'm just going to tell you that I bring the experience and the ability to drive change, because that's what I've done. Every job I've ever had, I have left it better than it was when I came, especially for vulnerable victims. That's who I'm about. That's who I've been about my whole career. And we are far from done. While we have a great report and we've made great progress as a city, our work is far from done. We still need a family justice center where everyone is co-located so there's better communication and less silo approach to domestic violence. We need a better approach when victims do not speak English. We are horrible in this area. The services are completely inadequate, so we've got to address that. And the last thing that I want to mention that we have to address just presses deeply on my mind and has not been part of the domestic violence conversation. And as your district attorney, I want it to become part of the conversation. And I'll give you an example so you know where it's coming from. In doing the domestic violence safety assessment, I went out, like my team members, to the shelters and interviewed victims for a period of 6 months. And the last question each victim was asked was, about how many times have you been abused in the last 6 months? And usually they gave a number, and I would write that number down and move on. And for some reason, I just started throwing in the last question, and I got about the same answer from every victim, but I'll tell you what one of them said. When I said, so how many times have you been abused in the last 6 months? She said, probably about 26, 27. And for some reason, I threw in the additional question. I said, well, would that include sexual abuse and rape? And she looked at me, and this is literally what she did. She went, oh, gosh, no. And that just made the world stand still for me. Because if these women aren't considering that part of their abuse, then the numbers we're getting are completely wrong. Any man that's abusing a woman by punching her, kicking her, demeaning her is certainly taking that abuse to the bedroom. And that is something that at least needs to become part of our conversation around domestic violence. I hope I have earned your vote for district attorney for the 25 years of my commitment to vulnerable victims in our community. Thank you.